All right, so our next matching activity deals with the subject of dogs. And I love dogs, so this is one of my favorite listening activities. We see here, according to the speakers, for which dogs are the following kinds of training most useful? We have questions 26 to 30. We know this comes from section 3, which is a conversation between two people. All right, so it's hard to know exactly what the situation is, but I can tell you, based on numbers 21 to 25, that these are two students discussing a presentation, okay, about dogs. So we have three options, A, B, C, small, intelligent, and large. Those are our keywords that we're listening for. You can be thinking immediately about different words. Small, what's another word for small? Tiny, small size, minimum size, something like that. Intelligent, what is another word for intelligent? Smart. Let's see, for dogs. Brainy, sharp, could be sharp. All right. And then large dogs, giant, big, large size. You might hear something about size. Okay, so these simple words, very easy for the test writer to create paraphrasing from this. Okay, so when you see those words, notice it, okay? And then 26 to 30, we have some pretty easy keywords as well. Physical, search, attack, barking, and biting. And to me, all of these words, maybe search could be paraphrased, but they seem more like terms that cannot really be adjusted easily. Okay, they seem like official types of training, which might not be paraphrased. Sounds to me like our paraphrasing will come from here. Okay, so remember, first step, find the keywords, and then try to imagine some paraphrased words, because probably the test writer will use some. Now, let's go ahead and listen, and we're going to listen for 26 first, and then 27, 28, 29, 30, in listening for which one is correct, A, B, or C. It's almost like little multiple choice questions each time. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play the script, and let's see if you can get the answers correct. Here we go.
I can believe that. Well, we have a good list to build on. We're finally getting started now, so let's try to figure out when each type of dog training should be used. I guess we can start by trying to figure out the best situation for each type of dog training.
What do you mean?
What I mean is whether each type of training should be used with different kinds of dogs. We could use basic obedience training, for example, and ask whether it's more useful for a small dog, a medium-sized dog, and so on. In this case, I'd say obedience training is best with small dogs, because they tend to get excited easily, and this will help keep them out of trouble.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then let's look at physical training. Even though some people think it's ideal for every breed of dog, I think it's better suited to the larger kinds. Small dogs usually just aren't smart enough to understand the physical commands, and they can even get hurt from them. The specialized sniffing training is the same. I think they're better with the more intelligent breeds of dogs, and they're hardly ever useful with really small dogs. Attack training, however, can be useful for every kind of large dog, as long as the dog is treated well and given a lot of care and attention.
All right, and what about guard training? Barking is an ideal way for small dogs to guard a home. I know they aren't big enough to stop a person, but making some noise is often all a dog needs to do. Other kinds of guard training like biting, though, are different. I'd always plan to teach those to a smart dog, give them a chance to use their brains and defend their homes.
I'd have to agree. Trainers often just teach large dogs to bark at a person when they think something isn't right. But if they know how to use physical skills in a bad situation, they could save their owner's life someday.
Yes, I suppose that different people would have different needs for their pets.
Right, and different trainers would recommend different methods for different breeds.
All right, so let's look through our answers here. Number 21, cultural aspects of naming people. Let's see here. Yeah, people's names in terms of culture. So culture was our keyword there. It would be a good way to start bringing in issues of religion and society. I thought so. As long as you can keep it concise, since it's potentially a large area, I will pick out some key points. Is this a yes or a maybe? All right. I will pick out some key points. This sounds very strong to me. Okay, this is where we get our answer. I will pick out some key points. What is the conclusion that they come up with? Do they conclude, yes, do it? I think so. Okay, the answer to number 21 is A. Yes, definitely. Okay, I will. Notice the grammar there. Will is very sure. I will think about it. That's a maybe. I will pick out some key points. That is affirmative. That is yes. Now, on to our next topic. Now, that will tend to be about differences. What about, we're looking for similarities. What about something on which, on ways in which naming practices are often similar across different languages? Similarities across languages. Okay, what does Joe say? He says, I'm not sure how much I could say that's really about just names, are not really general language. Maybe you need to give that some more thought. Yes, I am not ruling it out. I am not ruling it out. Do you know this expression, ruling it out? Okay, it means I am not saying no. I am not removing it from the list. So it's not a yes, it's not a no. This is a maybe. This is B, might. Okay, so if that's a new expression for you, that's great. That's a necessary expression when this type of paraphrasing comes up. Okay, I am not ruling it out. Maybe. It's not on the no list. That's what that means. Let's look at our next one here, number 23, meanings of first names. We have that right away at the beginning, very clear. What about what first names mean? Okay, and what conclusion do they come with here? There's all sorts of different principles at work. It's a rich area for discussion. It sounds very positive. And you can present lots of examples. It would mean a good slide or two. Don't forget our put our names in. It's a little joke. No, okay. All right, so all of this is very positive, right? This seems like a really good idea. He says no, okay, but he's replying to this. Don't forget? Okay, I won't forget. All right, so this is all positive about this idea of the meanings of first names. This is an A. Okay, and they never really say yes, okay, but it's brought up and everybody says, that's a great idea, right? And nobody brings up any doubts or problems. So we know that this is an A. What about number 24? We're looking for this keyword, place names describing geographic features. Where are we looking here? We have place names. Okay, well, we have place names right here. So there's our first kind of keyword. And then we mention sea or mountain. That is a good example of geographic features. And so a good example of paraphrasing there, if you find a really general word like geographic features in your mind, make sure you keep your mind open to examples of that. Okay, what is a geographic feature? A mountain, a river, a lake, a sea. Mm-hmm. And what did they decide about this? Are they positive about it or negative? People often don't realize the origin. It sounds like it's just a translation issue to me. Don't you think you might give that a miss? Okay, so this person says, this sounds like it's just a translation issue. In other words, this is a doubt or something negative about this. And he suggests, don't you think you might give that a miss? What does that mean, give that a miss? Miss, you might recognize as a very negative word, right? Like if you're swinging a baseball bat and you miss the ball. Right? So give that a miss means skip it, remove it from the list. Okay, don't you think you might skip that one? Given the time limit, perhaps you're right. Okay, this is a no. This is C. You might be a little confused by the word perhaps, right, or might. All right, but this is as strong as they're going to make it. I will not include this one. Yes, this means basically, I guess you're right. Yeah, okay, you are probably right. Okay, so the answer here is going to be C, will not include. They have made a decision that it's a bad idea to include this one. All right, let's move on to number 25 and 26. So number 25, we have influence of immigration on place names. So let's listen for that. Immigration. The way migrants, okay, often used to name places. All right, be careful there because we see the word origin, country of origin, and that could get you confused with number 26, right? Country of origin. So a bit of an interesting sort of trap here, something that could confuse you as a listener. Okay, but we are focusing on immigration here first. Remember, the numbers will always go in order. Okay, so don't let them confuse you too much. Number 25, influence of immigration on place names. What do they decide? Okay, we have a doubt here. Sounds a bit narrow to me. Well, I'd hope to build it up a bit. Perhaps you should make a final decision on that later. Okay, I'll see how the rest of it goes first. That is a definite maybe. Definitely maybe, as we say sometimes. I'll make a decision later. You can see how different that is from number 24, where they said, maybe you're right. I should leave that out. Okay, this one is much weaker. I'll think about it later. Now, number 26, our last one here, origins of names of countries. All right, country names, the origin of those, or the origins of those. And what do they decide here? Are they positive or negative about this? I think that's an interesting idea. That's positive. Yeah, I agree. Okay, this also seems positive. It would be a good way to bring in various aspects. And then a suggestion, I could project a map. Well, that seems to be a foregone conclusion. The writer threw in one little doubt at the end. Doubt for the listener, because maybe you don't know this expression. Okay? But this just means the decision is already made. In other words, we all agree already that this is a great idea. Okay? The decision sounds like we've already decided that that's a good idea. And we have this final positive thing at the end. Yes, I'm feeling clearer already. All right, so just like with, I forget which was our other A answer. I think it was number 23, perhaps. I think that's right. Which one was A? I think it was 23. where A doesn't really say clearly, yes, I will include it. Rather, nobody mentions anything bad about it, right? So we assume, okay, there's nothing bad about it, so that means he will include it in the presentation. All right, if you look back through the script, you'll see a very clear difference between A, B, and C. Okay, the first time you practice this kind of activity, you might get a couple of answers wrong, just because you're not sure how the tone works, right? How clearly do they say yes? How clearly do they say no? Okay, practice this a couple more times and just notice the script. You'll start to see that they use the same types of paraphrasing again and again. I hope that over time, this type of question will become easier and easier for you. All right, well, that is the last activity in this lesson. So I hope that you've learned something, and if necessary, go back to the beginning and watch it one more time. And I think you will, your confidence will go up the more you practice, I'm sure. All right, thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you in the next lesson. And don't forget to ask me some questions if you want. Just contact me anytime. Bye-bye.